So now we move on to one of my favorite parts, even though, we do talk about everything is basically modeled around our careers, but my favorite part is, of course, Senior Chief's true Navy sea stories. I like hearing sea stories and I like telling sea stories because, they give you an idea how things are, you know, but it, y'all, nobody got a sea story, right? Y'all want me to go, right? All right. This is my experience at my first Liberty port. My first Liberty port on a USS Kid. Just like you, Hirsch, you know, nobody really brief. I only took what they gave me from boot camp. What they told me in boot camp, you won't have any room on the ship for any civilian clothes. So I didn't take any civilian clothes. I didn't take any, I at all. So when I got to my first ship and they called off for Liberty, I was like, damn, I ain't even got no Liberty code. I'm supposed to go out in my uniform the whole time. And so thanks to GSM Fireman Singleton and Fireman Flournoy. Flournoy, I think, gave me a shirt, and Singleton gave me some pants. Shout out to Singleton and Flournoy. They gave me some shirt and pants, and these are the two guys that I went out on Liberty with. We was in Bahrain. We pulled into Bahrain, and we spent time on a cruise liner that had pulled into Bahrain. They say, hey, y'all can go on a cruise liner. We went on there. I watched them gamble, watched them drink a little bit. Then we went into town. We went to the Gold Souk, and Bahrain was one of our port visits of the day. And that's when I first saw, the Gold Souk. I was like, man, look at all this gold, all this shopping, all these nice things out here on the streets. And but when we left the cruise liner, and it got a little dark. And by the way, like I said, this is during Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield. The Persian Gulf War is still going on. The war is still going on, and we're in Bahrain. So I'm out here with Flournoy and Singleton. So we go to this one spot, and Singleton pulls out his ID and shows the guy. He's like, my commanding officer said I can get in here for free. He told the guy, we can get in for free. And the guy's like, okay, no problem, no problem. So he let us all in the club. They let us all in the club. We there, sitting there, Flournoy and Singleton, they're drinking, we sitting at the table, having a good time. And then these two guys got on the dance floor. They started dancing, some of that rainbow dance out there. And Singleton was out there. And Singleton pushed the guy, and the guy pushed Singleton back, and they started tussling. And the guy that I guess was in charge of the club, he told us to leave. And man, they Singleton and Flournoy, they was cussing and a curse. Dude, I'm like, oh my God. I'm brand new, so I don't know. I'm just quiet. I'm looking at this. I'm like, man, we going to jail. We going, the only thing in my mind was we going to jail. I need to get away from this dude, but I didn't even know where I'm at, right? So, and then from that club, we go to another spot where they had, the belly dancer dancing. They had the belly dancer dancing, and they had drinks out there. They started drinking again. I mean, they getting really tore up. And this is in the Navy when, if you didn't drink, then something was wrong with you. This is alcohol was what it was then in the Navy. Everybody drunk. All right. That was the thing. You go out there, you get tore up. All right. And, I was still brand new, so I ain't really drink. I was terrified, being out here with these dudes. I was scared. I'm like, damn, man. So we go to this club, the belly dancer dancing. You got all these guys, they got their headdress on, because that's their culture. And you got Singleton, doing this finger like this to this lady saying, come here. This lady that dancing, she laughing, they giggling. And the dudes, they ain't liking that, right? So the dude got up, and I was like, oh man, we about to really get it now. So the dude was like, get out. I guess he was saying get out in his language. And then Flournoy and Singleton, they got the cussing again. Come on. I'll call my ship right now, and I'll have them send a missile here right now. He's talking crazy stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness. We going to jail tonight. We going to jail tonight. They was talking crazy stuff. So we left that spot. When we left that spot, it was super late, and we had to get back to the ship. And it was probably gonna be the last Liberty launch. So my heart was beating. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be late my first night. My first night of Liberty, I'm gonna be late with these dudes if they don't get us tossed in the freaking in the jail. And so, we was waiting for the cab, and there was a guard out there with an AK-47, and Singleton was like, we help y'all win this war, right? He's just there talking this craziness crap. I'm like, oh my God, I see why they hate us. I'm just like, oh my gosh. He's just talking all this crazy stuff. I'm like, please, cab, come. Please, cab, come for this guy turn his AK-47 on us. So the cab came, we got back to the pier, and I'm like, okay, we safe now. Everybody, I think there was like maybe 10 sailors, but about 10 sailors on the pier. Everybody was tore up, drunk. Everybody was drunk. There was the only sober person there was me, because I didn't have one drink. I was terrified to drink with these dudes, right? I'm like, I need to be of sound mind to get out of any situation. Like, I didn't drink with them. So I sat down on the pier waiting on the Liberty launch. And there was one dude, he was sitting, it was like a pier, and then there was this gap that went down into the water. And then there was another pier, and he sat on these, one of these little stanchions. He just sat there. And I was sitting there, just waiting for the Liberty boat to come. And then all you hear was a splash, splash. And I looked around, and he wasn't there. And I was like, everybody looked around, they heard the splash. And it's like, was such and such sitting over there? I was like, yeah. And they ran over there. He had fallen into the water on the pier, and we couldn't even see him. So these dudes formed a daisy chain. Basically, they lowered two guys down there. One guy holding on to another guy's ankles, lowered him in the water. Then another one hold on to the other. They had two guys hold on. It was this dude. I can't remember his name, man. He was strong. This dude was strong because he was holding on, as everybody was holding on. They lowered these dudes down into the water, pulled them back up, and they pulled this dude out the water. They pulled him out the water. If nobody had said it, he would have stayed down there and died, because there wasn't even no splashing or moving or anything, because he was so drunk, for real. They pulled him out of the water. He was coughing up water. And you know what he said? He said, "What happened?" He said, "What happened?" He was so drunk. He don't know he was drowning. He was drowning. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the Liberty boat came and took us back to the ship. But that was my first night on Liberty. I was terrified. I was like, I would never go on those guys again. And of course, I went out with him again, right? I went out with him again. But that was crazy. This dude fell into the water, and he didn't even know he was drowning because he was so drunk. So drunk.
Wow.
Somebody could have died. He could have died that night. Came back up, was like, what happened? What happened, dude? You almost died.
She got run over by the Liberty boat.
Oh, yeah. But then put him back up. He's there coughing up water, coughing up water. Got on the Liberty boat. People started puking over the side. And everybody went to their bed like nothing ever happened.
Yep.
Like nothing ever happened. Well,
That'd be the part. Right. That'd be the part, having to act like something so substantial didn't just take place and having to be normal after.
Yeah. That was that's my first night on Liberty in Bahrain.
Wow.
That was a crazy night. But shout out to Singleton and Flournoy. Flournoy actually went to mass several times and eventually got kicked out. And he called back to the ship. I was on the mess decks, and he's like, "Daryl, you never guess what I am right now." And I was like, "What are you?" He's like, "I'm a highway state trooper." I was like, "What?" Somebody got kicked out the Navy, and he's a highway state trooper in Florida. For real,
From here, you could go anywhere.
Yeah, and Singleton, I remember he was starting to be a postmaster. postmaster, but he got out as well. But shout out to those two. Those two were crazy, man. I got some more for you from them two. Them two was crazy. They did
And
some. I mean, great. I mean, they brought some stuff on the ship that was like, oh my goodness, what is wrong with you? You know. But I'll save that for another time. But that was the sea story for the day. My first Liberty port there, and now we got what we
shout
call the
out to the
shipmate
hero.
shout out. The shipmate shout out, where we shout out a person that made an impact in our lives, that that really we remember, and we just want to give them props for the things they did for us, or just to say, hey, what's up? All right. Anybody got a shipmate shout out? What's your shipmate shout out for today?
I got a shipmate shout out. I would have to shout out to the guy who saved the guy's life in your sea story, because shout out to you. You a whole hero out here. Uh,
Oh yeah, almost definitely. He saved a life. Did it like it was
seriously,
nothing. He did it like it was nothing.
exactly. Like shout out him, and shout out to my girl, Chief Brodus, Chanel Brodus. We were stationed together in Italy when I made first class, and she's just been monumental in my life, and um, many stories, many uh, duty stations together. So I just would like to shout her out. She's a loyal listener and just an awesome person. So shout out,
Shout
Chanel
out.
Brodus.
Yes. Chanel Brodus. You get a few. Chanel Brodus. Good job. How about you there, Hirsch?
Another CT, by the way.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead.
in the community. You got somebody here?
I can't think of anyone for today's show. There's a lot, but none that could give a good shout out. But I mean, you know what? Shout out to GSC2 Robinson that was on Porter with us. Panamanian homie. Got a lot of good Liberty memories being in the GSC shop and then going out there and all these port visits we did. Good times. Good times.
Man, I'm trying to remember him. I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember.
Panamanian guy in the shop. You might have left though. Maybe you might have left.
Okay, I probably might have left by then, but I don't even remember him. Shout out.
Yeah, I think he became the work center super after Owen left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there for Owen. So I was there for Owen. Who I want to give my shout out to on my first ship, and that'd be Fireman Cicero, now retired, Senior Chief Cicero. All right. It's one thing when you get to your ship and you find that one person that you click with, and then y'all always together. And we always was together. We was down there. We went down there and we aligned every single system down there. When we was together, we was cleaning the bilges together. We was cleaning the lube oil storage tanks together during the shipyard. We went down to the inner bottoms. We was cleaning the inner bottoms. We went down into the MRG. We went out to the MRG sump. And I remember he was joking around with the light. And I was like, yo, man, stop joking around with that light, man. I ain't about that being dark and stuff like that. Joking around with the bad lantern down there. And he dropped the bad lantern. It got dark down there. And I started freaking out. And he started laughing. But it's always good to link up with one person. And y'all advance together. Y'all share stuff together. I mean, because I would go over to his house, him and his wife, they'd always cook for me. Hey, you on the ship? My wife cooking such and such. Hey, I come over there. But we was tight throughout the whole time we was on that ship. And I think I told y'all they made him the work center super main too. And they finally, I just like, we have to break y'all up. I mean, we were so tight. Main 2 was way ahead of main 1. Way ahead of main 1. We was crushing them, in terms of they was always getting off early, but our main engine was always maintained. And it was like, yo, we got to break them 2 up. We got to put 1 in main 1, and we got to leave 1 in main 2. And that's what they did, but that's why you got to balance it out. Really, got to balance everybody out. So spread the wealth of success to all the divisions. So everything is balanced. And that's what leadership did. But shout out to Senior Chief Cicero out there. He retired down there in Virginia. And thank you for being my partner for the whole time we was on the USS Kidd. Shout out to all the sailors you give a shipmate shout out to. If you got a shout out you want to give your sailors, go ahead in the comment sections. Let us know who your shipmate shout out is. All right. And that will do it for the show for today. All right. Again, we're going to be coming with some live interviews with shipmates of ours, and we're going to talk about their successes. We're going to talk about their failures, and we're going to talk about basically how they overcame those failures that happened in the Navy, and how they are doing out here, in civilian life. It's not a DRB. We're not holding DRB. We're just talking. It's because everybody can learn from each other. If you're active duty, you can learn, hey, I won't make that mistake. But it's going to be fun times. It's going to be some good times. And we're going to be live on Facebook. We'll be live on Twitter. All right. So shout out to M. Brooks. I hope he gets better. Y'all got any final parting words?
Another great episode. Thank you for the great stories, and just, starting this podcast where we could talk all good things that we've experienced and other things that we see could, have better endings. So I appreciate it and love y'all. Continue watching us. We're only going to get better. So thank you.
And we appreciate you, Val. Appreciate you. You're a great addition to the show, for real. Your insight into different things is a godsend. You got any final words there, Cohen?
Live long and prosper. Let's just keep doing.
Live long and prosper. Dr. Spock, live long and prosper.
There you go. We're gonna come in, drop whatever knowledge or insight we've got. Hopefully, you can learn something, and you can share any insight with us. Because each one teach one. You don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fair winds and following seas to everyone out there. Enjoy your day. And remember, this is this U.S. Navy Sailors Podcast, Snipes Castle, where we all gather to talk about everything Navy. For our very own Velvet Love, for Hurst Terrell, for M. Brooks, and me, myself, D. LaMonica. Again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hard work, hard work, that's what they say. Hard work, I earn my pay. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, I get up about 2:45. Hard work.